Do you really want to know what I was like when I was young? My story is not soft. It is not gentle. It is a story of love, betrayal, and revenge. Imagine sitting at the feet of your grandmother as she reveals a secret from her youth. Something dark, raw, and utterly unforgettable. This isn't just a story of heartbreak. This is the story of how a woman found her strength by destroying the man who thought he could break her. If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever wished you could take your power back from someone who hurt you, then hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because what you're about to hear is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever experience. The fire crackled low in the hearth. My granddaughter Aisha sat curled on the rug, her eyes wide and searching. She asked me, as she always did, "Daddy, what were you like when you were my age?" For a moment, I said nothing. My hands tightened on the arms of the rocking chair, and my heart traveled back in time, back to when I was not this quiet old woman, but a girl full of reckless fire. I leaned forward and whispered, "Do you really want to know, child? Then listen carefully, because this is not a fairy tale. This is a story of love, betrayal, and revenge. When I was young, I was nothing like the woman you see now. I was wild, untamed, fierce. I laughed loudly, dreamed boldly, and believed in love with all my foolish heart. And then, there was Kabir. Kabir was the kind of boy that every girl noticed. Tall, with eyes that glowed like embers at sunset. His smile, oh, his smile could melt the iciest anger. When he spoke, it was as though he poured honey straight into your veins. Sweet, intoxicating, dangerous. And I, naive, hopeful, I believed every word. He told me I was his only one. He painted dreams of a little house by the river, with flowers in the window and laughter in the air. He recited poetry beneath the banyan tree, swore eternal devotion beneath the stars. I carried his promises in my chest like sacred prayers. But love, my child, can be the cruelest trickster. One night, under the pale glow of the moon, I saw the truth. Kabir, my Kabir, was not mine at all. I had gone looking for him by the banyan tree, the place where we shared our sweetest moments. I thought he would be waiting, pen in hand, words of love on his lips. Instead, I found him holding another girl. His lips brushed her hand just as they had brushed mine, and his voice, those same honeyed whispers, spilled into her ears. The same promises, the same lies. My world collapsed without a sound. I did not scream. I did not weep. I simply walked away, my heart beating like a funeral drum. But as I reached my door, a vow burned itself into my soul. Kabir will never forget the day he betrayed me. The days that followed were a test of fire. I saw him often. He came to me, smiling, speaking as though nothing had happened. His eyes sparkled with arrogance, sure of my love, sure of his hold over me. And I smiled back. I laughed at his jokes. I let him think I was still the foolish girl who worshipped his every word. But inside I was sharpening my silence into a blade. Kabir's greatest weakness was his pride. He craved attention like a starving man craves bread. He lived for applause, for admiration, for the image of perfection. That was where I would strike. But to destroy him, I needed an ally. The girl I had seen with him. Her name was Mira. Sweet, innocent, and broken-hearted, just as I had been. She believed, as I once did, that she was his only one. At first, she avoided me, ashamed, fearful that I would hate her. But I did not hate her. She was not my enemy, Kabir was. So one afternoon, I found her sitting by the river, tears staining her cheeks. I sat beside her. For a long while, we said nothing. Then softly, I told her the truth. Every word he had spoken to her. He had spoken to me as well. Her eyes widened, the betrayal cutting her a second time. But then she saw my face, not angry at her, but determined. And slowly, very slowly, a bond formed. We were no longer rivals. We were allies. Two broken hearts beating with the same fire. And together we would destroy Kabir. For weeks we played our parts. Kabir suspected nothing. He continued to swagger through the village, reciting poems, charming elders, making girls swoon. His arrogance grew. His mask shone brighter than ever. But behind the scenes, Mira and I whispered plans. We knew when, where, and how to strike. And the chance came at the spring festival. The festival was the pride of our town. Lanterns glowed like fallen stars. Music filled the air, and laughter echoed through the fields. Families gathered, children danced, and at the heart of it all was the stage, where Kabir always performed his poetry. He believed it was his throne, the place where the world bowed to his words. That night it would become his gallows. I paused, staring into the fire as the memory wrapped itself around me again. I could still feel the sting of betrayal, the heat of fury, the weight of the plan I carried in my chest. Aisha leaned forward, her little face glowing with curiosity. "Daddy, what happened at the festival?" I smiled, slow and knowing. "Patience, child. Revenge is a dish best served when the crowd is watching." The spring festival had arrived. That night, the entire town gathered under a sky thick with lantern light. Music spilled from every corner, drums beating like thunder, laughter weaving through the warm evening air. The smell of roasted corn and sweet jalebis hung heavy, pulling children by their noses. And at the center of it all, the stage. It was Kabir's domain. Every year he stood there like a king, reciting his poems, basking in the applause. He thrived on those moments where every gaze turned toward him, where every sigh fed his ego. That night he arrived in his finest attire, his white kurta crisp, his hair carefully oiled back. He walked through the crowd as though the earth itself bent for him. Girls giggled behind their hands, elders clapped his shoulder, and boys envied his easy charm. And yes, he expected me at his side, the faithful lover, smiling as he conquered hearts with his words. But I was not there to be his shadow. I was there to be his undoing. The festival lights flickered across his face as he stepped onto the stage. The crowd hushed, waiting for his silver tongue to drip its sweetness. He held his poem high, ready to recite. And that was when I rose from the audience. My voice cut through the festival air, steady and sharp. "Tell us, Kabir, which promise will you recite tonight? The one you gave me? Or the one you gave Mira?" The crowd gasped. A ripple of whispers spread like wildfire. Kabir froze, his smile faltering, his hand trembling around the paper. For the first time, the golden boy looked unsure. The silence was thick, every eye pinned on him. I could feel the crowd shifting, leaning, hungry for what came next. And then, from the other side of the stage, Mira stepped forward. Her voice was soft, trembling at first, but brave. "Or perhaps, Kabir, you'll speak of the love you swore to both of us." Gasps again. Faces turned. Elders frowned. Young men muttered. Kabir's mask cracked. He stammered. Tried to laugh, but the sound was hollow. His hands shook. His eyes darted from me to Mira to the crowd. "Lies!" he spat. "These are lies. They are jealous. But his words were drowned by the murmur of the crowd. Whispers grew into laughter. Laughter turned to scorn. People who once adored him now shook their heads. Mothers pulled their daughters close, as though shielding them. And in that moment, Kabir's kingdom crumbled. He had built his life on admiration, on the image of perfection. And with a few words, we stripped it all away. I watched his pride collapse, brick by brick, until he stood bare. Just a boy, no longer a golden god. The humiliation was complete. His poem fell from his hand, crumpled and forgotten. The crowd dispersed, not with applause, but with ridicule. Laughter trailed him like a curse. Kabir did not perform again that night, nor any night after. His arrogance had been his crown, but now it was ashes. No one sought his words. No one listened to his songs. Slowly he vanished into silence, his once bright fire snuffed out by the very people who once worshipped him. And I walked away with my head high, my dignity intact, and my power reclaimed. I paused, staring into the fire. Even after all these years, I could still feel the sting of betrayal and the burn of justice. Aisha's small voice broke the silence. "Daddy, did it hurt? Even after the revenge?" I looked into her young, searching eyes. My voice softened. "Yes, child, it hurt. Revenge doesn't erase pain. Betrayal leaves scars no fire can burn away. But revenge, it gave me something greater. It gave me my power back. Kabir broke my heart, but he did not break me." Her eyes glistened. She leaned against my knee, her little hands clutching the fabric of my shawl. I brushed a strand of hair from her forehead and whispered, "Remember this, Aisha. Never let anyone make you small. If someone tries to steal your light, you have the strength to take it back, always. The fire crackled. Shadows danced across the walls, and the old house fell into silence. But within that silence, my story lived on, burning bright, a lesson carved into time. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting someone else. It's about reminding yourself that you are stronger than the pain they caused. Kabir learned what betrayal cost. And I learned that no one, not even the sweetest liar, can steal the power of a woman who chooses to rise. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed. Don't forget to subscribe, because we have more stories like this. Tales of betrayal, justice, and sweet, unforgettable revenge.